Hi, this is Steve from SewingGold.com. I want to show you how to adjust the pressure on the presser feet on this DU-1181. This is a video that I talked to Tanya about, one of our great customers. She helped me figure this out when I didn't have enough coffee one day. Pretty simple, not sure why I was having an issue in my brain with this, but of course, with the help of one of my awesome customers, Tanya, we were able to just figure this out really quickly, just common sense wise. These two pieces here, this one right here, and then there's one back here. Let me move the camera just so you can see that. Whoops. So we've got this silver thumb screw and then this screw right here, which is held by, like, locked by a nut. This one's got like a plastic nut on here. This is going to be the pressure for the inside foot. So this foot here, let me just zoom in. Okay, so the inside foot here, okay, is going to be this silver knob, and then the outside foot, which is this right here, the pressure on that is going to be controlled by here. You don't want to overdo these, like unscrew them a lot, but you can unscrew them quite a bit. Okay, so when you're sewing on something delicate, like delicate leather, let me zoom back out. Delicate leather, I was going to maybe sew on this leather here. I don't know how many ounces it is. I'm not really good at that. And then also some cork that someone sent me to see if we can get some marks on here, if it gets marked up. So I would sew on this, and let's just say I do get marks on this. What I'm going to want to do is reduce the pressure on both of these. Okay, outside and inside foot. Okay, your outside foot, which is this one here, has teeth on it. So that's going to be the one that's more than likely going to leave more marks. Okay, so I'm going to want to reduce this first, and then I would reduce the middle one, which is the silver knob here. Okay, I'm going to reduce both right now, and I'm going to show you how much I'm going to reduce mine, and then I'm going to sew something. So here we go. I'm going to grab a 14 millimeter wrench, loosen the nut. Okay, and you can do this by hand, or if it's too tight, do it with a screwdriver. So it's still pretty tight. I'm going to reduce it a little more. And I'm just checking this by hand if I could actually push this up. Still pretty tight. Don't overdo it because you don't want it at nothing. And I'm going to reduce this middle one just to see if I can get to be a little less pressure for both. Looks like my foot's a little loose. All right. I'm going to just see how this feels. Still quite a bit of pressure, but we're going to test it out. I'll test it out on the cork, and then I'll test it out on the leather to see if I get any markings. Okay. I have a large needle in here. I put a leather needle in here because I was going to test that leather. So hopefully the holes aren't going to be too huge. But with this type of cork, I mean, I would use with this machine a size 16 needle. Even though the cork is lighter, you could probably use a 14, but this machine usually is not going to take a 14. All right, let's examine the cork and see if we get any markings. I'm going to zoom in here pretty much all the way down there. And to me, it doesn't look like there's much for markings. All right, so let me zoom back out. I'm going to sew on the leather now. So that's pretty darn good. Now I'm going to sew through 2 layers of this leather. This leather is, I believe it's real leather. I'm not 100% sure. not really good. I'm not a sewer, so I don't know these things. If it's not, excuse my ignorance. These are just scraps we get from customers once in a while. So there's 2 layers. This is not thin leather. It's not like lambskin. It's fairly thick, but it's pretty mushy. All right. Let's see what we've got here. Whoops, I just darkened this. Let's see if I can lighten this back up. Sorry about that. And we're going to move in on this, and there's no marks on this one either. All right, I'm going to try this on one more piece of leather that I've got. It's already been sewn. It's like a real stiff piece of leather. Looks like it's from a belt. Let's see how we go on this one. I'll sew through the side here. Just lay a stitch. Okay, turn that one. And then I'll zoom in on that too and see if we got any marking on that one. Looks pretty good. Okay, so if you take a look what I've done here, how much I've reduced it. I mean, there's no number that I could give you from factory setting to this, but you can see I've reduced it quite a bit. And then when I was checking how much pressure there was, I was pushing with both hands. Let me actually get this out of here so I could show you again. I don't know if there's any type of gauge you could buy. I don't know of anything that you can buy to check how much pressure there is. But I'm literally just grabbing this by hand and trying to push this up with 2 hands. And I would turn the machine off when you're doing this. And then when this was all the way down, I could barely move it. I'm sorry, when these were set farther down, both of these, I could barely move the presser foot. Okay, so I'm not getting any markings on all 3 pieces that I sewed on. If you do get markings, try and reduce it a little more. Don't reduce too much. You don't want to reduce too much or you're going to get next to nothing on these. So if I reduce this too much, you'd feel when you do that, up and down with your hand, you'd feel these feet like practically no pressure at all. So if I reduce both of these too much, I'll get this thing moving up and down, and then I won't be able to feed my fabric. Okay? So if you have any questions about this video, please let me know in the comment section below. Hope this helps solve some problems with markings on leather and cork. Thank you.